Do I need the microphone because it's just us? Come on. You have been handed a thing that we're going to basically just walk our way through. Starting on our homepage and letting you know what's there, what's available, and how you can get where you want to be. Okay? If you take a look at that, do you have another copy? No. Can I have? Oh, I shouldn't stand right in front of the camera. Are you recording? No. Oh, you started. Duty. Okay.
She has one.
If you look on here, it says homepage. One of the big things that nobody knows, if you click right on the shield, wherever you are on the website, it will take you to this page so that you can start all over. So that's the first thing it says on the thing. The Episcopal Shield takes you home. Okay? So no matter where you are, if I go over here to Outreach and I say, oh, I want to go back home, everywhere, click the shield, it takes you right back home. Okay? All of these lovely buttons, that's what these are called, buttons. If you want to see the sermons, you don't have to go to faith formation. You can go right to that button, click on sermons, and there they are. And they're all listed by date and who did them and whatever. And all you have to do is click on this link. Is that in focus? All you have to do is click on that link and the sermon will come right up. Okay? We've had lots of people viewing them, and I'm able to actually go see how many people have looked at them. So when someone says, oh, I look at them all the time, and there's been 0 views, I know that's not true. So please be aware that I actually can tell.
Big sister is watching you.
There you go. Well, that's part of my job, is to see what people are using and what they're not using. And based on that, we have made some changes to the website. And again, back to the home page. One thing that nobody ever uses, or rarely uses, is the member login. Okay, a couple people use it. If you go here, mine is signed in to my home instead of my church, so that I could show you what you can do and not what I get to do. You click on sign in, and you can do almost everything, find everyone right here. You don't have to go searching through anything or anything else. You can go here and look at directories.
What's all the security, a login security?
I will go back and show you that. It's very easy. You can set up your own, or you can call me and I will set it up with you on the phone and it will work.
It requires a password?
That you pick. Okay? If I assign your password, it's probably church. Because it really doesn't have to be complicated. Here, you can go to the directory, and this is, I skipped around on this, sorry. But here, you can go to the directory and find everybody's address and phone number with absolutely no problem. And I'm sorry, this is loaded.
Email addresses as well?
Most of them do have email addresses. And if they don't, I'll show you the other place to get those. Okay. Again, if you go back one, and you can go to a family directory with photos. Are you ready? Here's your pictures. So we loaded all the pictures that are in the directory, and then I sent out an email and said, I don't have your picture, send me something. And people that sent it, we loaded those too. So this is much more up to date than our directory, because that's 2.5 years old.
How about the phone, the app I have on my phone? Is that as up to date as this?
Yes, ma'am. Church Life is linked directly with this. So if you have Church Life on your phone, it's linked directly with this. And if you don't have Church Life and you want it, come see me and we'll set it up. Very simple, very easy. The other thing that I want to show you, but you can't look at our numbers, is your profile. Okay? On your complete profile, it will give you, this is your stuff, you all of your information. You can check to make sure the phone numbers are right, the address is right, anything is right. If you move and don't want to call me and tell me that, you can click edit and change it. Okay, so you can change it yourself. This is one of the few places that members can make changes on the website. Otherwise, it's all office controlled on purpose. You can also figure out what you owe as far as your pledge and what did you pledge. Your giving history is here and your pledge history is here. You can do usually only back 1 year, so you could go back to 2018 and see what did I give then and what do I plan to give. Okay?
Other people can't go into anybody else's.
No, only you have access to yours. Okay. Yes, ma'am. So it really does give you a lot of information. You know, I've had many people call and say, well, I don't know what I owe. That's all you have to do. And you can see where you are and what you need to do. Okay. Any questions on that? You're way easier than middle schoolers.
That's us, we're easy.
Okay. This morning, Mr. Rittenbender, this is our homepage, okay? On our homepage, there's lots of really good information. Not only can you hit those buttons and go to those different places like member login or the visit or St. Philip's and pictures, if you haven't seen that, and this is something that we keep updating, it's a lovely slideshow of all the stuff that goes on here. And it just goes through and shows you some of the stuff that goes on here. And periodically we go through and change this and add into this. So feel free, go see what we're doing, how we did stuff. Okay. There's fun stuff all on the homepage. Bishop Curry's visit, we put up here as a little thing that you could kind of take a look at. And it goes through and tells people who weren't able to attend why he was here and what happened while he was here. And we did a bunch of pictures that were taken that day and put them all in here so you can see not only did we have a great time, but how many people participated. It really was a wonderful event. So this is another place that you can go and say, oh yeah, I remember that. There's also a link to his sermon, so you can listen to his sermon again if you want to do that. So there's all kinds of stuff on this page, just from the home page, and you don't have to go any further than that. How are we doing so far?
Very good.
I didn't see the moose.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? I can make that
Picture
happen.
of the moose and Jiminy.
Getting ready. You can make the pictures go faster. You can just hit the buttons. There's that moose picture, which actually came out pretty good. I was impressed. Bishop Kerr was very happy, and how several people sent me in pictures, or I stole them from Facebook, because I figured they were public, so I stole them, and let you know, and put all the different pictures, and his staff wanted to pose with the moose. So we got that, and we got Canon Jim and Bishop Curry as the final picture there.
And the
moose. Canon Jim, Bishop Curry, and the moose. Okay. So we do try to make it so that there's interesting stuff for you to see and play with and do. Oops, no, you don't want to see my Facebook, it's really not that interesting. Okay. And if I close this, it takes me out of everything. So, okay. So, also on here is the lovely link that Mr. Bittenbender referred to. and there's little white circles, and if you just move your cursor to the white circle, it's like playing a video game, and you just kind of move through the different areas in all three buildings. It does take a minute or two to get used to, but after that, it's very easy.
Is it on the link? Is there a link on this page?
The link is right here. It says, please go to this link. There you go. There's the link.
That's wonderful, that's fascinating.
Okay, so you can really see where we are and where we're going. This gives you an overview of the three buildings, and you decide where you want to go. This Matterport presentation is pretty awesome. And here's one of the circles. So you click on the circle and it takes you someplace else. And there's, and it can take, okay.
That shows you where they have the camera located
Okay.
in the circle.
And it takes you all around, and you can just go visiting and see what happened. And you're like, I know there's a way out that door, and you keep playing with it, and it will let you, I promise you. Right now, it has something to do with my hand shaking, standing in front of all the people. But you can certainly play with it, and it will be fine. Okay? Beautiful. So you can go back here. If you want to see really, here's another, look at that. How cool is that? Just showing you the specific areas that they went to, and down here. Back here. Oh, look, we went into the bathroom. Not where I wanted to go. But you see what I'm saying. You play with it. You can't break it. If even I can't break it, no one can. Isn't that right, Mr. Bittenbender?
That's right.
That's right. Okay. I don't know why this keeps going out on me. Okay, so that's the home page. Okay. Now, if you go to, on your little handout, the second slide down here, it says About Us, the blue bar. Okay. Up here across the top is the blue bar that gives you all of the different pages on the website. Now, some computers don't show the whole blue bar. And if you don't have it, again, it's on the home page. Look down here. Usually what we're missing are communications and resources on your computer. There's links to it right down here on the home page. So you don't have to fuss with it, and you don't have to worry about it. Okay? So let's go to About Us. Each time you click on one of these blue things, underneath it will come out this little black box. And that will tell you all the things that are under that particular heading. Okay? So if we go to Staff and Vestry, you just click on that, and here's our Staff and Vestry page. As you can see, Father Eric even sent us a picture, so we have a picture of our rector-elect on here. This is where all the vestry stuff is. All the information, who's in charge of what, with all their phone numbers and emails and everything, as well as their minutes. So if you want to read vestry minutes, they're very easy to get to. What you should also notice on this page, all the ministry boards are listed, so that you can find out who's in charge of the ministry board, who's the communicator. I want information about whatever, you know exactly who to contact. And I'm not saying don't call the office, but what I'm saying is you don't need to. You can just find it right here, and it's not difficult. And again, you can't break it. If I haven't broken it yet, no one will. Some of this you may not have seen before if you haven't played with the web page, but this is a page specifically designed for visitors, so that if they're new here, they know not only where the church is located, but what to expect and how they can get ready to fully participate in our services. So it really does, again, hopefully make it very easy for visitors to say, wow, that's kind of cool, and you know, now I know what to expect and what to do. Back again, this is also a whole history of not only our church, but the Episcopal Church in general. And if you're into history of the Episcopal Church, you can go to the primer. As you're playing with the website, and if you're tech literate, you're familiar, but if you're not, the little hand, you see the little hand in there? That means you can click there and something will happen. If there's a little hand, click there and something will happen. So the primer on the Episcopal Church is basically a history of what's going on and how you get to be Episcopal and what our beliefs and all that stuff is. So again, if you are interested, or if somebody asks you, well, I need to know more about the church, well, that's where they can go and get lots of information. The last thing on here is our community, and there are links to everything in here, including the City of Southport, Town of Oak Island, the State Port Pilot. You can link directly to their online page, and the Wilmington Star News. So you can link directly to those outlets right through your own webpage. You don't have to go fighting on their sites for us. And that was something that we did, again, for visitors, but for us too. You know, if you want to see what's going on in the pilot and you didn't have a chance, or in the Star News, it's right there.
Is it updated every day?
Yes, ma'am. It's a direct link to their site. So if you pull up, for example, the State Port Pilot, it's today's and what's going on. And then again, if any place that you get the hand, you can click on that and get more information. Okay? So it's an easy way to get more information, and you don't have to pay for it. Okay. Each of the boards, and we organized it this way so that you would have easy access to each of the 5 boards, and who's in charge, and who's doing stuff, and what their deal is. So the worship board, and under each one, and it tells you this on the back of, oh, we did all that. Okay. Under the worship board, and it tells you, you find out who's the chairperson, the communicator, what their roles and responsibilities are, minutes, and anything they're doing special that's going on. So if you go directly to the ministry board of the worship board, again, it tells you who the chairman and communicators are, who's on the board, and what they're responsible for. Like Jan Fairley is Flower Guild, and Aaron Hughes is the Acolytes, and Father TJ is our clergy rep. So you know exactly who's at the board meetings. If you had a question about worship, that's who you would contact, one of the board people, somebody who knows what's going on. Also, the minutes are here for all of their meetings. On each of the board pages, oh, and this is also where the link for Bishop Curry's visit is, to watch his sermon and anything that went on with that. On each of the board pages, there's a little section that says Bible verses. Each of the boards has been asked to start their meetings with a Bible verse, so that we're getting a little bit more into Scripture. Different boards approach it different ways, but basically the board chair picks one of them, and there's about 100 to choose from that are all here, picks one of them, and that's how they open their meeting. They read the Bible verse and talk about how that verse applies particularly to their worship, or to their board, whether it's worship or faith formation or whatever it is. So again, we're giving the board chairs access to find out where their resources are and easy ways to find them. The other thing that some board chairs do is they come in the office and say, I need a Bible verse, and we hand them a folder, and they're all in little envelopes, and they can take their copies with them. So again, it's an easy way to try and get back to Episcopal and get a little bit more in depth with Scripture and those kinds of things. Okay. Under ministries for worship, it again goes through the major ministries, and what's here is again the names, and if you're interested in anything, who you should contact. if you want to get involved with the Altar Guild or the Flower Guild or lay ministries. And there's also a section about deacons and what they do and how they do their stuff. So it's kind of worth your while to grab a glass of wine and go through the webpage and see what you do now. On here also, we have basic stuff about worship and what our service schedule is and where. We are so grateful to be back in the sanctuary and things about that. We also have here on the worship page information about weddings and funerals and baptisms. So if you are planning a wedding or pre-planning a funeral, if you go under weddings, and you'll see that it's kind of hard to see here, but it's dark and stands out, that's the wedding policy. Well, there's a little hand there, so you can click on it, and it pulls up all the stuff that goes with weddings here at St. Philip's. There's a similar link for the memorial garden and for funerals. So you can see everything is in there, all the readings, all the forms, any paperwork you might need, all of it is right on that link. So you can print it off or come in and talk to Father TJ or whatever you feel the need to do. There's also, in this funeral policy, near the end, is a page where you can reserve a spot in the memorial garden. So everything that you need in association with the funeral is right there. That's that, and the nursery I'm not going to talk about because we don't have one right now. Parish life, same idea, where it gives you the board, the minutes, and stuff that they have going on, and also all of their ministries and what they do, and who is the contact person. This is often a question that folks have. I have a question about who do I call. Well, all the contact people are here on the site. Faith formation is a little bit different because not only does it have the basic information on their homepage about who's the chairman and the communicator and all that, but when you go to their ministries, that's where all the adult ed is. And the adult ed is broken into major categories. It's not in chronological order. Whether it's talking about the history of the church, faith formation in general, future planning, what we've got going on and when it's going to happen. The end of life series that Ken and Jim did is all on there, and we have copies of all those handouts. So if you see something on there that you want copies of, we have those as well. And then the last one here is about your questions answered when we have those wonderful sessions. So there's a lot of information on that faith formation page. We just have to use it. On the bottom here is stuff about our labyrinth, and there's also a form that you can download and print out to get a block for the labyrinth. So all of that information is on there. And I'll show you another place you can find all that too. Almost everything you can find in two places. Outreach, same deal with their things. Here they had asked to have increased information on their site about informational articles and the homelessness articles, those types of things. And the Mission Fund is also part of outreach. So all of their stuff is also included with outreach. And that's a good reason just to go and see where stuff is. So when you look on that ministry board page, it will tell you all the information about the Mission Fund as well. And then all of our ministries. And if you read through each one, it tells you who to contact and what we do. So all of your stuff is here. We have worked diligently to make that happen. Finance and facilities. is kind of an interesting board because not only do they do the money, but they do the buildings. So they really have a wide repertoire of information that they're responsible for. On here, not only do they do the roles and responsibilities, but there's an in-depth discussion of their investment policy for the church. So that if you're interested in that, or you have questions about it, it is a very detailed description of the investment policy of the church. The ministries are a little bit limited just because we're not really, our stuff seems to be more spread into other places. So the Finance and Facilities Board kind of governs and helps people allocate money, but their major ministries are the treasurer himself, thank you, Mr. Fuchs, and the endowment ministry, which is another ministry that is being activated. And on the finances part are your budgets. So that if you want to see the budget and that kind of stuff, that's on the finances part. So if you look around a little, and all of that's listed in your little handout, everything you can find on each page. So if you're trying to find something, go through your handout and say, oh, that's where it is, and just go there. You don't have to search. Communications. Yay. Okay, we've been accused of having poor communications. I don't think we have poor communications. I think we have poor reception of information. Okay? We put it out there, but folks don't seem to know where to find it or how to get it. So the first part of the communications page is our monthly calendar, which is updated weekly. Is that an accurate thing? At least weekly, if not daily. If there's a meeting, if there's a whatever is going on, it's on here. You can make sure that your meeting that you thought you had scheduled is on the calendar. If it's on the calendar, you all got a room, okay? If it's not on the calendar, we don't know about it. So if we don't know about it, we haven't scheduled you a room. So if you look on here, you will see everything that's going on in the church this month. Well, I want to know about next month. You click next, and it takes you to the next month. And you can see everything that's going on. You can go back a whole year, and you can go, at this point, you can go all the way through 2019, although it's not all filled in, because there's so much transition. So most of the calendar has been filled in through about June. So those things we think are going to be pretty stable. But you can check and see. Oh, okay, we got lunch. Oh yeah, Seekers is on here. Okay, we got Seekers, we got Faith Formation. When the services are, where the services are, all of that is on your calendar. And this, again, is something that you can print. If you look up here on the top, there's a choice to download, and if you just hold your cursor over all these little icons, it will tell you. There's a download, and there's a print. And you can just print the calendar, and you don't have to keep going back and looking. Okay? If there's something major going on, it will be in red, but we haven't had a lot of major stuff recently as far as events at the church. A lot of it's just we're continuing with what we've been doing in anticipation of Father Barrett. The second part on here is something that we've just changed up a little bit. We used to post the announcements and the e-news on this page. Well, nobody was looking at them, and it was kind of annoying. Not annoying, but annoying to post them, and nobody's using them. So we decided we'd try anniversaries and birthdays. So in the first column are the January anniversaries, and the second column are all the January birthdays. There are other places to get that information, but it's here. And of course, this will be updated each month so that it's current information. On here also is the weekly schedule of what's going on, and this usually has 2 weeks of information so that you can see what is scheduled in the various places. On here also, we do have a link to the e-news, so if you missed the e-news, there's a link on the website for it, and it will tell you the date, January 20th. Okay, that would be this week's e-news. Okay. Again, it'll take you right back to the calendar where it says view the calendar. And this last one is for folks that participate in usher, greeter, lay Eucharistic ministers, visitors, all of that stuff. That's the server schedule. So if you're not one of those people, you should be because it's really fun. Join up. You will see when I clicked on it, it didn't open. And that bugs a lot of people. And they're like, why doesn't it open? It doesn't open because it's a document that's not out in the cloud, out in space, like the calendar is. So you have to literally open that particular document. They will usually download to the left-hand corner of your thing, and then there's your server schedule. Okay. Anytime you click on something and it doesn't automatically open, that means it's a hard copy document that's been loaded into the website. And sometimes, more often than not, it will not automatically open. It will download to the left-hand side, bottom left-hand side. I've had some people say, well, I don't want to download all that stuff. Okay, you can download it, print it, and erase it. Okay, just go to your downloads folder and say delete, 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 delete. And I'll show you how to get there on your computer as well. Okay, so and I understand that folks don't want to download a bunch of stuff and that you do need to kind of keep your computers free of all this garbage. Okay, open it, print it, delete it. You're done. Okay, so there are some things that we can't put into the cloud in order to have easy access, that it has to be a hard document. Okay, so that's everything on the communications page. Tells you everything that's going on. The last section here is what we call resources. And this is towards the back of your handout. On here, we again have all the policies and forms. If you need a reimbursement check, if you need to turn in a receipt and you don't have time to come into the office or you just don't feel like it, you can print out a check requisition form. For those of you that do this, you know that that's something we use. We also have all the customaries on here. So if you want to be an acolyte or a crucifer, that's something that we've updated over the past 2.5 years with tons of work. The crucifer and acolyte customary, the lay Eucharistic visitor customary, as well as ushers, and what they're expected to do and what all the responsibilities are. We also have here the funeral policy and the wedding policy. And again, that's all listed in your handout. So if you're looking for a form, you're not sure where, it's listed there for you, so you know just where to go to find all your stuff. Also on here is an online copy of the Book of Common Prayer, so that if you wanted to find a certain reading or a psalm or whatever, the whole Book of Common Prayer is right here. You don't have to go searching for it. You don't have to do anything difficult. Over here on the side is their index of everything that they have. So if you wanted to know, for example, the Holy Eucharist. So it tells you, okay, Eucharist Rite 1, Rite 2, Special Circle, all that information, and it literally opens, if I can get it to do what it's supposed to do, the Holy Eucharist Rite 1. There's the Book of Common Prayer on your computer. Okay, so you don't have to go searching for stuff, you just have to look where it already is. That was part of the point, was to make it easy for you to access stuff. The last thing in here is the lectionary page. And this is the basic lectionary page that Episcopal as well as Catholic churches use. So all you need to know is what the date is. And for example, today is the 20th of January. So, and it'll tell you, second Sunday after Epiphany. You click on that, there's your lectionary. So everything that you need is really, we tried very hard to get it all on here. Okay? The last thing I want to show you about is, we'll go back to the home page. Okay, anywhere you are on the site, you click that shield and it takes you back to the home page. It doesn't matter where you are. Okay, you don't have your copy of the thingy and you want to know, pick something. Somebody pick something. What do you want to know? The lectionary. You go up here in the upper right-hand corner and there's a search bar. We added that this year. So you type in lectionary page, hit go, and it takes you to the lectionary page. So you, okay, really? Did I spell it right? I did.
Mhm.
Okay.
Just like lectionary.
Don't do this to me. Okay, pick something else.
Outreach minutes.
Outreach. Why isn't it going? Oh, it's thinking. There we go. Okay. So, Outreach Ministry Board, all of their minutes, and each one of these things that you go to, it'll give you the little hand, so you can click on it. Okay. So anything that you're looking for is really right.
It is there, I looked up, I'm on the mobile, I'm on the phone.
Uh-huh.
Resources is not on the top of that.
Right, so when you go down on the bottom left of the home page, so scroll up, and the bottom left of your home page, there's your links to that, because they don't always show on a mobile device. So if you wanted to know resources there, touch that.
Okay. All right, now let me ask you this. I looked up Outreach Board,
Uh-huh.
and under Ministries, Men's Club is not listed.
That's a bad thing. So we're going to go to the Outreach Ministry Board. You're saying under Ministries it's not there? Ministry Fund, Monday Lunch, Street Reach, and neither is ECW. Isn't ECW under Outreach now too?
I think they're under the women, under the one Sarah Pettis is.
Okay, so that's something we can add in. This is the kind of stuff, and at the last chairman and communicators meeting, we asked folks, please go through your websites, go through your web pages, and make sure that everything that's supposed to be on there is. Because as you see, there's a bunch of stuff on here.
Look under the one that Sarah Pettis is the head of and see if the ECW is under that.
She is in Parish Life.
Yeah, Paris. Let's go say party.
And I know we wrote your name in there somewhere, Jimbo. We will find it. No, it's not.
I'm not sure that there's I'm not sure there's a mission statement from the Men's Club that you can.
Okay, well, that's something that we need to address, is to figure out where ECW and the men are fitting and make sure that they're on those pages.
2 months ago, they were in outreach.
2 months ago, they were in outreach.
Yes.
Okay.
Show me how to get into download and get rid of download, please.
Oh, okay. So on almost every computer, there'll be these little pages, little quick access where you can find stuff, okay? You go, just search downloads, and there they are, because I don't download anything.
So do you just go through and delete whatever?
You can just go through and delete it all.
You can
And
probably
it doesn't,
select it all.
if it's under, say for example, it's something under documents, would it delete it from the computer under documents?
No, it would just delete it from the download part. So if you have it saved as a document,
It won't make.
getting rid of the download will not delete it. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay, anything else on that? No? Did anybody learn anything?
Learned a lot.
All right, I'm glad. Okay, the other thing that I wanted to just take a couple minutes to do, and we'll do it very quickly, is the e-news. Because I had some folks concerned about they couldn't find stuff on the e-news, or it didn't look right, or whatever. So there's a little handout about it in the same format as for the webpage. And I'll just go to this week's e-news. And from the webpage, you can pull up the e-news. So, yeah, like if for some reason you didn't get it, or your husband deleted it, I've heard that a lot. You know, I was going to read it and he deleted it. Okay, go to the webpage and it'll be on the communications page. And this is this week's. So, and I just took it right, and I'm just going to show you. I just went to the communications page, and down on the other publications is the e-news down on the bottom left. And this is this week's. Gives you the server schedule as usual. Now the scripture readings, if you click on that, it will open directly to the lectionary for this week. So you don't even have to go to the calendar and try and find it. That's one of the reasons we put it in here each week. The server schedule is again a document that you open or download and open. And this is all the folks who are, okay. Oh, there it is. I know. There it is. Okay. Of what your assignments are and all of that kind of stuff in case you forgot, or Muriel forgot to call you, which like never happens. But whatever, here's the server schedule for the week so that you know what your assignments are. And then this week at St. Philip's is the basic weekly thing of what's going on, our basic calendar for the week, so that you don't have to go to the web page. You can take it right from the email. So you're getting information pretty much anywhere you look, you can get it. The other two. No, I don't want to change you. I just want to move you. Okay, is the reconstruction update that Mr. Bittenbender was talking about this morning, and how we've signed a contract and all that information. So if you didn't have a chance to look at your e-news or someone deleted it on you, please feel free to check it here. Also, every week we have a writing or some sort of reflection from clergy or from a, and or deacon or clergy, so I don't want to misspeak there, but they're from clergy somewhere, and it will tell you who wrote it and what their topic is. These are the, and people have skipped over them, and I wish you wouldn't, are the discussions that Ken and Jim talked to us about what we can and what we shouldn't do in order to make Father Eric's transition easier. He really gave some good ideas, so again, to check there. On the e-news, we have each board has their own section. So instead of having it all combined together, we have each board having their own section. Well, let's say you had a question about faith formation. Well, you go on your e-news, click here, it takes you to their webpage. Okay, there's direct links. So that if you have a question about what's going on, you can go directly to the webpage from the e-news. You don't have to open up a new page or anything And that's with all of the boards. The prayer list, what's going on there. And again, each one, you just click on it, it takes you right to the homepage of that particular site. Now on these are the ones that folks, again, have to download before they can open them, okay? This housing ministry that Deacon Sally is involved in, well, you go over here and open it up. It opens as a Word document, because we do ask folks to send us stuff as a Word document. It's just easier for everyone's computer to interpret and understand. And all the information about that particular ministry would be in that handout. And everything that's going on. Again, here's your birthdays. The prayer list is listed separately here and up in faith formation. So if you're looking for folks on the prayer list, and the monthly calendar. Down here is also a link directly to the homepage of the website. So you can get to the website back and forth between the e-news and all that stuff pretty easily. You just have to click on stuff. Okay. Did I skip anything or miss anything? Or? Yes, sir.
Lorraine, on the quick-news, on my iPad, this is the first week that it's not happening. When I would click on one, all three would come to one, and I couldn't read any of it.
Really?
Yeah, and now this week, no, I can click on one, and I only got the one.
Okay, when that kind of thing happens, what I usually do is close out of whatever I'm doing and reopen it and see if it just didn't load properly.
Okay.
That's likely, because that's happened to me. Yes, ma'am.
Lorraine, I find it interesting that, you know, you're doing a download in Word or Excel and that kind of thing. And not so much the members of the church, but somebody from the outside going into this website to do that same thing. Now, they can take that document and they can redo it. So what I'm getting at is you might want to consider down the road of posting or turning all your documents into PDF, which is harder to convert.
Harder to convert and change, yeah.
I mean, it's just a security point.
Yeah, that's a good idea. It's not something I had thought of, but I appreciate the input.
Is she volunteering?
I didn't go that far,
Oh,
because,
no, it's very easy to do. Anybody who has Word.
Yeah, you can
convert
just-
it to a PDF immediately and
Yeah,
send it to you.
and
It's
send
not
it to
something that you would
and
have to do.
when folks send me stuff, I ask them not to send me a PDF, because I often have to either change some stuff, or I edit for spelling and grammar, because that's the teacher in me. I kind of can't help it. So I ask people not to send me PDFs if possible. Okay? Do we feel a little better?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Me with help from ACS. The company that takes care of our finances and all that, it's a church thing. They helped to set it up, but we went through and said, this is what we want here, this is what we want here, and they helped to format it. And Betty and I have kind of gotten to the point where we can pretty much do everything on it now without assistance from them. So
I think it's very good and very thorough.
thank you. We worked very long and hard on this.
I give you full credit, because I operated in a period, if you needed to know anything, you called Natasha. And that took a lot of her time. I can see the deficiency is, once you've constructed it.
Yeah, it took a long time to construct, but we really tried to hit all aspects. And there was a lot of direction from Father TJ and Ken and Jim also on how to structure it, so that, you know, we looked at hundreds of other websites to get ideas and just try and make sure we get everything.
This is truly a full-time job.
Yes, it is, which is why I have Betty now.
You have to constantly be on the updating something
Yeah.
and knowing where to get it, but you've done a great job.
Lorraine, something secret within the church, print it in the Sunday Bull.
I don't do that sometimes too. Okay, we're good. Thank you so much for being here and tell your friends.